Okay, so since the last video, I have been working on improving the entire architecture for the system, and so far so good. Because this test was on the 17th, and these were the results. Exact match 4%, fuzzy match, fuzzy match 40%. And I mean, these are all the other metrics, right? Then fast forward to um 18th, on the 18th. Yeah. So the results have improved now. We have exact match 36% and fuzzy match 54%. So when I say improving the architecture, what I mean is there are a lot of portions that could have used improvements which I didn't think of earlier. For instance, when answering a question, right? For instance, a question like this, we've got Derrickson and Edward of the same nationality. The way I, as a human being, would think about answering the question is, so the question is asking me about two people, Scott Derrickson and Edward. Then it's asking if they are the same nationality. So first, I have to find out who is Scott Derrickson, right? Then I have to find out who is Edward. And then I have to find out what is the nationality of Scott Derrickson, and then what is the nationality of Ed Woods. Then finally, do the nationalities match? Then I know that, okay, were they of the same nationality, then I can answer yes or no. So that's basically part of the updates that I've done to the retrieval and chat system. So, but that I have not yet tested the system with that improvement. This specific test, I don't remember what exactly I did before I ran this test. But after I ran this test, I realized I could benefit from what's the approach I just mentioned. So I have implemented that, and then I'll be running the test for. But right now, what I'm doing, actually, you notice that there's a lot going on here. What I've done right now is I have um, created. So what I noticed that we can have one entity appearing in multiple nodes, and actually even with this one, Ed Wood. So there are multiple nodes that talk about Ed Wood, and we have multiple Ed Woods in all the nodes. We have Ed Wood, the film. We have Ed Wood Senior, a plantation owner. We have Ed Wood, which is the nickname for Edward Davis Wood. Yeah, so like there are multiple Ed Woods. So I noticed that when the nodes are created in the Gram database node 4G in the brain of the system, these nodes are separated. They are not linked in any way. And something, something like Edward and Edward Davis Wood, the two of them are the same person. So they are going to have similar context. But so this question, for instance, if we are looking for Edward, there's a high chance we will not find Edward Davis Wood because it's the difference between the names is it's large enough such that depending on how you limit your findings, the search process, the retrieval process, you might not find Edward Davis Wood if you are looking specifically for the entity Edward. So what I have done is I am running a script right now, which is an alias detector. And these are the logs for it. Where is the log file? Here. These are the logs for it. So you notice starting batch alias detection. And so it started Gamba. So what it does is it takes one node, so here, Gamba, and then it searches all the other nodes to see if it has a node that sounds like it, looks like it, is similar to it. So I'll give you an example over here. We have the node Exxon, and then we found a candidate that was kind of similar to Exxon, which was Exxon Corporations, right? And then we also found Exxon Mobil. And over here, it first found a candidate. Then the next step was to ask the LLM to determine if they are actually related. So we tell the LLM, oh, okay, so we have Exxon and we have Exxon Corporation. This is the context for both. So context, Exxon was the brand name of Exxon Corporation, formerly known, blah, 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 blah. Then Exxon was the brand name, so the context is actually even basically similar, right? It was formerly known as Standard Oil, Exxon, but yeah, so it's basically similar. So I am expecting you to say, okay, it's variants of both entities describe the same company, but Exxon Corporation is more formal and complete name used. Okay, yeah, there's the more, yeah. So that's exactly what's happening right now. We are creating the relationship, and this step, I have added it to the ingestion process so that it can actually, what you call it, it can run during ingestion. So you don't actually have to run the script on your own afterward. It will run during the ingestion process, right? It does mean there's an additional step in the registration process, so it might be a little bit slower, but I don't think it would be so tasking. So this is what it's doing to my machine right now. Look at the spike. Look at the spike in the GPU usage. Oh my goodness. It's basically using the entire GPU. It's using efficiency, yeah, so these four, and then the performance, these four. Memory RAM. Wow, we're using 19 out of 24, and we're even using swap. Interesting. And then we have the we have the GPU here. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So this is what is happening to my battery right now. But yeah, this is the process that is currently going on. So I mean that log file is going to be so huge by the time it's done. Let me see. 5,000 so far. Okay, not bad, I guess. Wait, where has it gotten to? Well, they got 600 out of 400 and 4,200. Okay. All right, that's cool. Okay. So yes, this is how we've gotten to. Once we are done with this, we can run, because I've also updated the retrieve process to factor in these sorts of relationships, right? So invariant is same as same as relationships, especially are very important, because if something is the same as something else, then their contexts are basically supposed to be um, the same or similar. So if the retrieval process finds the first entity but it doesn't find the second entity and they are the same, they have the relationship as the same, in the retrieval process, it actually expands to see the second entity that it's a that I mean it expands to see multiple relationships, but it prioritizes the same as relationships, because yeah, it's basically the same node or the same entity, right? So let me check and make sure that this is actually correct. Relationship is same as raw element response. So what were the two entities? We have step two. Stop candidate. Step one. Okay, so Dr. Drew is the entity we are looking at. And then top candidates were celebrity rehab with Dr. Drew. Step two, found one potential. Okay, so candidate celebrity. Okay, so asking the NNA for NNA. Okay, so first context. Dr. Drew appeared on the second and fifth seasons of the reality show This. And then context. The show This aired on da 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 da. And then it is raw and then it's shared fact. Exactly appeared on this, exactly da, 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 da. And it says relationship is similar. Interesting. Both entities describe the same television show and the role of this person in it. They are essentially two different ways of referring to the same program and it does. Well, I guess you could say that. Hmm. What's the context for the doing? Appeared on the second and fifth season of the reality show. No, I don't. I would classify this as same as. So maybe I might need to do some more refinements in this step. Uh, but yeah, I think I'll just let this finish and then I'll run the final test to see the results I get. Then, before I actually come and start refining this. Okay, so that's the current update. Ah, cow.